I announce Singapore is a new blue zone. It's in the book. It's a manufactured blue zone.
My specialty has been solving ancient mysteries.
National Geographic explorer Buettner is back with a new Netflix documentary, Live to 100, Secrets of the Blue Zones. This time he has newly discovered the sixth blue zone. And it is Singapore. In this video, we are going to focus on the foods that centenarians in the blue zone have been eating all their lives. We will focus on top 5 foods that are inspiring, achievable and affordable for anyone around the world. Adopting some of their habits, you may also be able to live healthily and happily till the age of 100 and beyond. What is the blue zone? Blue zones are a handful of places around the world where people live longer than average, seemingly without any strict diets, expensive supplements or rigorous routines. What differs is that Americans may pursue health, but the people in these blue zones, the longevity ensues. These long-lived people are simply a product of their environment. The original 5 blue zones are Okinawa, Japan, Sardinia, Italy, Nicoya, Costa Rica, Icaria, Greece, and Loma Linda, California, United States. These areas have culture and tradition that organically help their residents lead healthy lives. With the new blue zone, Singapore, it is a manufactured blue zone where health-conscious policies help their residents achieve the same result: healthy long lives. So, let's discover what the habits are, with an emphasis on the dietary habits that you can easily take home with you. But first, let's quickly discuss the crucial exercise: walking.
Every time they go to work or a friend's house or out to eat, it occasions a walk. They're doing housework and yard work by hand. They tend to have gardens out back. So my team figures they're moving naturally every 20 minutes or so. So when you add up the caloric spend throughout the day, it's way more than if they worked all day and then went to the gym. And along the way, they're keeping their metabolism at a higher level, so they're burning fat without thinking about it.
Since 1960, Singapore's life expectancy has grown by 20 years. Now, the average life expectancy is 85 years, which is one of the highest in the world. Over the past decade, the number of centenarians in Singapore doubled. The key reason for Singaporeans to see a huge jump is because its citizens are kept active.
Driving your car is taxed. Walking is subsidized. They're very hard on drugs.
Singapore has walkways that protect residents from the sun, helping them get to between 10,000 to 20,000 steps a day. In Singapore, driving a car is taxed heavily and walking is subsidized with its efficient transportation system and parks. When we explore other blue zones, we see similar active daily habits. Even at the golden age, the residents continue to enjoy working or moving about all day long. This keeps the metabolism high from dawn to dusk. Did you know that the bare minimum exercise for adults is 15 minutes a day, but only 23% of Americans reach the minimum? So, let's all get moving, which should also help us eat and digest our foods. Blue Zone's top 5 foods. Over 2 decades of research, Buettner reverse-engineered longevity. He identified blue zones and examined what top foods the centenarians in blue zones have been eating throughout their lives. Here are top 5 foods for longevity that you can implement in your kitchen today. First, eat plants.
If you want to know what a 100-year-old ate to live to be 100, you have to know what they were eating their whole lives. So we got dietary surveys over the past 100 years in all 5 blue zones, and we found that overwhelmingly they're eating a whole food, plant-based diet.
In the blue zones, people enjoy a remarkable variety of garden fresh vegetables in their prime season and cleverly preserve the surplus through pickling or drying, ensuring a year-round supply. Astonishingly, their diet primarily consists of plants, comprising roughly 95 to 100% of their daily intake. Among the stars of this green lineup are the vibrant leafy greens like spinach, kale, beet and turnip tops, chard, and collards. When it comes to cooking oils, blue zone residents lean towards plant-based options. While our research team can't definitively claim that olive oil is the sole healthy plant-based choice, it's undeniably the most popular one within these communities. Research findings demonstrate that consuming olive oil can boost good cholesterol levels while reducing bad cholesterol. In Icaria, we discovered that middle-aged individuals who consumed approximately 6 tablespoons of olive oil daily seemed to reduce their risk of mortality by half. For those of you who can't part with meat entirely, there's some encouraging news.
They do eat meat, but surprisingly little. Meat about 5 times per month. And we know that because we've done a worldwide average of these dietary studies in all blue zones over the last 100 years. So meat is kind of a celebratory food.
In 4 out of the 5 blue zones, meat does find its way onto the plate, but here's the twist: it's used sparingly. Meats are reserved for special occasions, as a small side dish, or as a flavor enhancer for their meals. Research even suggests that 30-year-old vegetarian Adventists may potentially extend their lifespan by up to 8 years compared to their meat-eating counterparts. So, there's flexibility within these dietary practices to suit individual preferences. I now hear your question, but do we not require some protein? Beans. Get a daily dose of beans.
One handful of nuts is worth about 2 years of life expectancy.
And if you're eating a cup of beans a day, you're probably not only getting all your protein and most of your fiber, but also it's associated with living an extra 4 years.
Beans serve as the cornerstone of longevity diets worldwide. Black beans in Nicoya, lentils, garbanzo, and white beans in the Mediterranean, and soybeans, found in extra firm tofu, in Okinawa. In the blue zones, people consume at least 4 times as many beans as the average American. Beans are true superfoods. They boast an impressive composition, approximately 21% protein, 77% complex carbohydrates, the type that provides sustained energy, avoiding the quick spikes from refined carbs like white flour, and just a small fraction of fat. Moreover, they are a rich source of fiber.
2/3 of their calories come from complex carbohydrates. That is the number one foodstuff for longevity.
Beans are not only cost-effective and versatile but also come in various textures, delivering a higher nutrient density per gram than any other food on the planet. Furthermore, beans encompass most of the essential vitamins and minerals you need. Whole food. People in blue zones traditionally eat the whole food. Singapore is no exception. In this new blue zone, the government actively supports this practice by subsidizing nutritious whole foods. This incentivizes people to buy whole foods with abundant nutrients over more highly processed foods. A concise definition of whole food would describe it as a single ingredient item, whether raw, cooked, ground, or fermented, and devoid of extensive processing. Typically, blue zone dishes consist of just a handful of ingredients, skillfully combined. Remarkably, the majority of the foods enjoyed by centenarians in the blue zones grow within a mere 10-mile radius of their homes. Their diet includes raw fruits and vegetables, self-ground whole grains cooked at a leisurely pace, and the incorporation of ancient fermentation techniques to enhance nutrient bioavailability. This practice is seen in their consumption of tofu, sourdough bread, wine, and pickled vegetables, with a noticeable absence of artificial preservatives in their diet. Snack on nuts.
Snack on nuts.
When it comes to snacks, eat 2 handfuls of nuts per day. A handful of nuts is the average amount that blue zone centenarians consume. Almonds in Ikaria and Sardinia, pistachios in Nicoya, and all nuts with the Adventists. The Adventist Health Study 2 found that nut eaters outlive non-nut eaters by an average of 2 to 3 years. For an optimal nut mix, consider including almonds, rich in vitamin E and magnesium, peanuts, abundant in protein and folate, a vital B vitamin, Brazil nuts, notable for their selenium content, a mineral with demonstrated effectiveness in prostate cancer protection, cashews, a great source of magnesium, and walnuts, packed with alpha-linoleic acid, the sole omega-3 fat found in plant-based foods. Notably, walnuts, peanuts, and almonds are particularly effective in helping to lower cholesterol levels. Sugar. In Singapore, what Buettner calls Blue Zone 2.0, they have manifestly produced the outcome we want.
They just live in a place where healthy food is subsidized and junk food is taxed.
It applies to sugar intake. On a systematic scale, Singapore's government reduced the amount of sugar in sweetened beverages and added healthy food labels to items with limited amounts of sugar, fat, and sodium. Dan points out that this helps the citizens to mindlessly consume less sugar. People in the blue zones eat sugar intentionally, not by habit or accident. They consume about the same amount of naturally occurring sugars as North Americans do, but only about 1/5 as much added sugar, no more than 7 teaspoons of sugar a day. It's hard to avoid sugar. It occurs naturally in fruits, vegetables, and even milk. But that's not the problem. Between 1970 and 2000, the American food supply witnessed a staggering 25% increase in added sugar content. This translates to approximately 22 teaspoons of added sugar per person daily. Hidden sugars can be found in soda, yogurt, and sauces. Excessive sugar consumption has been linked to immune system suppression, insulin spikes leading to diabetes, reduced fertility, weight gain, and even a shortened lifespan. Limit sugar added to coffee, tea, or other foods to no more than 4 teaspoons per day. Skip any product that lists sugar among its first 5 ingredients. While food is just one piece of the puzzle contributing to the centenarians in blue zones, the presence of a robust support system, access to quality healthcare like in Singapore and Loma Linda, and intergenerational gatherings in all blue zones play pivotal roles in fostering happy and healthy lives.
people who wake up with a direction in life are living about 8 years longer than people who are rudderless.
Nonetheless, making positive changes to our diet might be the simplest step we can take towards achieving a healthy long life.